Hello, you guys. I will wait a bit for people to come in, but hello. Welcome to some wind down, chill sprints. Hold on, let me get the timer ready. Share screen. Okay. There we go. But hello, guys. How are you doing? Let me know. How was your day? How has your week gone so far? What are we reading? The fact that it's Wednesday, I had so many people tell me that they thought today was Friday, which meant that towards the end of my day, I felt like it was Friday. And the last thing I want to remember at the end of my day is that it's not actually Friday. And that I will be coming right back to work after thinking that it was Friday for so long. But I've had a really good week. I know it's about to get very busy though. Like my Friday is shaping up to be quite a busy day. But luckily, my Thursday actually ended up calming down a bit. So I might be doing sprints tomorrow as well. But I will be scheduling those tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, my week's been okay. And then what am I reading? I'm reading Queen of Shadows because I need to pass the class for Magical Readathon. I am still reading Parable of the Sower, so I might go back and forth between the two. I love Parable of the Sower so much that I do not want it to end. And I'm really trying to lean in more on just letting books, reading books at the pace that they need to be read. So I'm literally just basking in the glory that is Parable of the Sower and just I haven't finished the book, and yet I still find myself going back on my annotations and being like, oh, I love this character. Or, well, I'm starting as I'm reading, there's becoming more characters that I'm like, I can't stand you. But I still like going back and I'll go back and reread the instances for I don't know, because I don't think I've ever mentioned this for when I'm doing my reviews of Parable of the Sour, or not my reviews, but when I'm talking about the book. But a huge part of Parable of the Sour is that the main character, her name is Lauren. Her dad is a minister, and so she talks a lot about religion. And I'm pretty sure, because I also have the graphic novel, I'm pretty sure it says something about Lauren ends up making her own religion at some point. So religion is a part of this, or discussions of religion and discussions of God. So I'll go back to those because sometimes when she's describing God, I'm like, that is a quote right there. Like that is a moment right there. So yeah, I'm loving this book so much that I really don't want it to end, and it makes me so sad that it has to end. But yeah, for Queen of Shadows, however, I'm on chapter 8. And I know for a fact that if I don't read it on sprints and dedicate time with y'all, then I won't read it, because that's what I did with Air Fire? Yeah, I would be like, okay, I'll focus on Parable of the Sour for sprint and then read along with the audiobook for Air Fire, and that didn't happen. I mean, clearly it did happen because I'm on to Queen of Shadows now, but that was all rushed this weekend, basically. So let's see some comment. Hello, Chris. Hold on. I have my screen lowered. Hello, Chris. Yeah, I know. Autocorrect hates my name. Really, Liz, I can't stay long. I totally understand. It's late. I mean, it's 6:30 here, so I knew it was going to be late for a lot of people. Hello, Simone. Hello. I'm just leaving work. Oh, cool, Jules. Maybe you'll be able to stick around for sprints for a little bit. Once you get home. I know, yeah. Autocorrect hates my name. Usually it switches it to Khalil, which is a guy's name, and I'll be like, I'm a girl. But it's been a very rough day. Everything that could go wrong did at both work and my personal life. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Simone. I'm sending all the great vibes. That's definitely what these sprints are for, to just wind down, take a deep breath, and let the troubles of the day subside. If it's not killing you at this very moment, we will deal with it tomorrow. Just relax so that we can get ready for bed and for anybody in a different time zone that's maybe like on their way to waking up, they can wake up in a peaceful way, I guess. Hello, I'm reading All Her Secrets. Needed a quick thriller read. I love this for you. I've definitely heard of this one. I've heard that it's good. So let me know how you feel about it. Hello, 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 and hello. But yeah, I think I always want to like start on like a solid number for sprints before we actually get into it. So I'll try to wait for like 4 more minutes, which means that I need to discuss something. Like I don't know what to discuss. No, I need to be able to talk. Um, Definitely let me know what other people are reading if you're reading, or let me know what you're doing if you haven't done anything. I know for this first sprint, so there will be music like there always is, but this not for this first sprint because I need to organize my space a bit more. And so yeah, you guys aren't gonna want to hear me clicking and clanking and all the like noise that comes with that. So I'm going to clean up my space and like just listen along with the audiobook. And then come back once I clean this up a little bit better and it looks a little bit more like it's ready for me to go to bed when I finish sprints. But yeah, that took me all of a minute to say. Love that for me. I don't know how you guys are feeling about this month, but I can't believe it's already the end of the month. Like I saw this coming. Like last week, I was like, oh my gosh, next week's the final full week of, well, the final week of April period. And I was just like, how? Like, I knew then, and now that we're actually in it, I'm just like, how? I'm getting a little bit nervous about these 2 books because 'cause I'm like, I absolutely need to finish them, but I told you guys how much I'm loving this, so I'm scared to keep going. And then this one, it's not that I'm hating it. I actually okay, wait a minute. Let's talk about it because SJM might have me for this one. If you have seen my vlog that went up this week, if you haven't, watch it. But if you have seen it, then you know that I had talked about something that like frustrates me with SJM. Was it in this vlog or another thing? Something that frustrates me with SJM is that sometimes her books start off very slow and then you get invested towards the end. And that's all good and dandy unless you're in a series, because what'll happen is I'll be very much anticipating the book when I finish it. And then when I come back to the story in another book, it's like slow paced. And I'm like, okay, I just lost my interest all of a sudden. This time it didn't happen. The first page of this, or the first like chapter technically of this, I was like, I am absolutely invested. And if we can keep this writing going, you have my heart. I'm reading a dark romance arc called Fueled by Deception. Ooh, love that. That is also my problem. I really want to read like more romance, especially after reading The Deal. I just want to be in romance right now, and neither of these are really highlighting in the romance department, but I know for a fact that if I were to like, because I usually have a nightly book with my Kindle, I know for a fact if I were to do a romance read with those, I would just not pick up the other books. April flew by so quickly. Yeah, I mean it definitely did. It definitely did. I felt like because I definitely started April being like, it's like a full month, it's taking its time, and now I'm like, how are we at the end? Oh goodness. How dare they? Hi Amber. Welcome. Hold on. I keep that like filler moment of trying to remember how to do sprints annoys me because I'm like, ah. What do I do? I hope I'm not annoying people, but okay. How about 45 minutes? Um, I will see you guys in 45.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
All right, guys, how did that first sprint go for you all? I made it to chapter 11, page 97. I think I'm gonna, because I'm almost done with this chapter, I think I'm gonna finish that the next sprint and then switch to Parable the Sour for the next sprint and then just go back and forth between them. This one is a lot better than the other books. Okay, a lot more might be dramatic of me, but it is better than the other books. Like I'm not even 100%. I'm not even 100 pages in yet, and I like this one, which hasn't happened in the entire series. I mean, Assassin's Blade. Nope, because see, I don't even think it was the first novella that I liked very much. Where are we? I think I left off here. Goodness, hold on, you guys. Sorry about that. You're on book 2. Love that for you. And you're listening to listening to audiobook because I know you like the first audiobooks. I hope that's going well. This week has been rough. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Good luck on your next job interviews. I believe in you. You got this. I hope you enjoyed the first one. Yes, exactly. Good luck with your interviews. You got this. I believe in you. Hello, Zoe. Hello, Kinsey. Hello. So many people came during this one. Hello.
His method for typing was peculiar. He simply swallowed all the files and spiders in the boxes before he could stop it. Brahms. I love this. I I have 2 copies, so if you guys have been following, there's only 2 editions of classics that I actually want to own, so it's the Seasons edition. I literally learned what those editions are called, and I forgot already. Is it seasonal or seasons? I think it's seasons. It's the seasons editions and then the Penguin deluxe editions. Those are the only editions of classics I want. Unfortunately for me, both of those editions of Dracula are stunning. So I can't decide which one I want to buy because I'm not about to double up on Dracula. Like I doubt that I'll love it that much, but I definitely want one of them. I just don't know which one I want more. I read a chapter of Akawar. I'm about to cough. That was me like telling my cough to go down a little bit. Read a chapter of Akawar. Managed a good half a chapter. My attention span has been abysmal these days. Okay, literally, same though. Totally understand. That is why I'm doing sprints because it's like I am not doing well at focusing by myself, you guys, like at all. So this is literally to help me get through the final 2 books of my magical readathon. I came late but managed to get 20 pages in 20 minutes. Okay, go off then. Of Trader's Blade. Great Coats, book 1. How are we liking it? I don't know if these are the first 20 pages, but how are you liking it so far? The fact that like my edges are like crazy right now drives me insane. How is yes, please, please, please let us know how a Discovery of Witches is going. I know that over on Looney Lucy's channel, they're going to have a live discussion this weekend, I think, if not later this week. But I'm pretty sure it's like this week. So definitely check out to see what Lucy, Simone, hold on, I got this, Kelsey and Zoe have to say about this book. Even though I didn't read it, you guys should totally support them because they're great people. I read the Doe trilogy and loved it. Would highly recommend. I will definitely Discovery of Witches. I'm gonna say Doe though because in my head now it's Doe. It's Doe. Started ACOTAR during the sprint. Exciting, exciting. This one, just for nostalgia's sake, is actually my favorite series of SJM. Like, does the writing the best? I don't know. Honestly, I genuinely don't know because I loved it so much when I binged the series the first time that I have no clue. Maybe will I reread it at some point? Probably because after Akasif, wait, Akasoff, sorry, A Court of Silver Flames, I was just like, this one right here, this is my series. It just makes me so happy. Can't wait for the next book to come out. What, next year? Is it next year? Is it coming out? No, it's I haven't even gotten a title for that book, so I doubt it's happening this year. Good night. You're probably already gone, right? Yeah, probably. Joined for Peace Ellie, working bright and early. I hope that final sprint was good for you. It's like the Collins classics because they're cheap. I don't know why I said it's because they're cheap, but I will collect any classic I can get my hands on. I definitely want to read more classics. That was one of my goals this year, and I haven't read one yet. I do think though I will be reading one in May. So I'm excited about that. Which one you ask? I don't know. I don't know that much. But I've been craving a classic. I just knew I couldn't read it this month because I'm very you guys will find out why I wasn't trying to read 2 intensive books for this month. But oh my god, you'll find out next week, I guess. Oh god, I really have to edit that then. But anyways, yeah, I was like, okay, I'm kind of in the mood for a classic. I'm actually have an inkling for that, but also I'm gonna break. Like I can't commit to that right now, but I'm very much craving a classic. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're interested in lore. The characters and romance is quite polarizing. interesting. Dracula is really good, gets slow at times, but a lot more is going on than you would expect. I really want to read Dracula, but I can't buy that one until I read more of the classics I own. That was my deal with myself, my like compromise with myself. Greycoats is great, pretty good so far, but I'm only on page 104. That's great. I'm happy you're enjoying it so far. It's my first time reading the series. So I hope I like it. I hope you like it too, because again, this one, like, this is why I will always give SJM like chances because Akatar, I literally have such a vivid memory of binging that series. So let me tell you guys a story. Do I have time to tell you guys a story before I go all up? Oh, we have like 2 minutes. I'll tell you guys a story next break. Um, I hope you love it. Yes, exactly. Okay, I'm in a weird slump where I like where I'll like to read Pride and Prejudice. I get it. I read it. I swear my mind read it, but my mouth won't say what I read. Where I'll be rereading Pride and Prejudice instead of reading a recent release. So that was actually the classic that I was really craving to read recently. And I was like, what is this? What is this energy? Like, so yeah, I think that's actually going to be the first one I read this year. Okay, I'm only 13% into A Discovery of Witches. You got this. You got, and you're reading the audiobook, you'll be able to figure out which side you're on pretty soon. Read Akor in January and nothing has compared since. I want to binge this again so bad because I like have a vivid memory of first of all binging the series, but like Akamath in particular. I remember laying down on the like carpet in the living room with my blanket on me, just like flipping through the pages of Akamath, reading it. But like I was reading. Like I don't think I've read that fast since. Like I was consuming that dang book. And I specifically remember finishing Akamath, getting up and like running to where my bookshelf was, grabbing Akor and coming back to the place I left off and like going straight into Akor. I finished that entire series in a week and a half. It was a great time. Hold on. And on that note, it's time for the next friend. I'll tell the full story when we get back. And I will. I definitely will go for it.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
All right, you guys, how did that sprint go? I think I scratched myself at some point. I have a welt on my face. Um, it went really great for me. That's went really well for me. I love this book so much. It's definitely a 5-star read. Y'all, ooh, aggressive. Y'all, read this book. Parable of the Sour, by the way. It's just so good. And I think this is definitely helping me want to read more classics because I don't know where my dust jacket is, so I have like no proof of anything I'm about to say. Oh, it slid when I was reading. Um, when was this written? Mm, it's not exactly a classic, definitely not. But I mean, 1993 again, not a classic, but it definitely has like older feels or like feels of an, like a classic sci-fi kind of. And I love this so much. Such great writing. It's so relatable. Like if you're thinking about reading Parable of Sour, which you all should be, by the way, um, but if you are thinking about reading a Parable of the Sour, do it. It is so relatable. It is so easy to obtain and read. Like honestly, if you're worried about the science bit, it's not too much science. Like, it's just it's science in the way of like nature and understanding our environment and how our actions impact our environment. So like global warming and everything, but it's not like unobtainable or um science. It's not something that's very hard to comprehend at all. And it's science in the way of just like presenting and just presenting the story. And just as you're reading, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, the state of the world is due to like what scientists have predicted. And it's just so, so nice. I love this book so much. I think I was here. Also, if you guys can hear a dog in the background, my neighbor's dog has, I don't know what's wrong with it, but it just whines 24/7, which is why I bought noise canceling headphones because I can't anymore. Do the same thing with Akawar. Exactly. Reading. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Right. So y'all, do you want to hear the story of my time with the Akatar series? So first of all, I bought the Akatar series, all 3 that were within the trilogy. When I had bought it, the novella was already out, and we people had already known that she was going to continue the series, when that the novella was just like a filler until she had finished the series, which duh, like duh. Anyways, so I had gone to Portland. We had road trip to Portland so that I could go to Powell's? Is that bookstore down there? That's like no, isn't it known to be like the biggest bookstore in America or something? I don't know, something like that. It's huge. It is a huge bookstore, and since I have always loved reading, that was something that would be like my reward for being like a good student or any accomplishment I made ever. Or just for my mom to be like, you're not a challenging kid. You're a good kid. I appreciate you. Let's road trip to Portland and go to Powell's. Like, I think one of the time my mom had a concert she wanted to go to, and then she took me so I can go to Powell's. And then another time it was a reward of mine for being like a good student, I believe. I think. Anyways, so for the one that was for me being a good student, I was told I don't have a buying limit. I wasn't purchasing the books. They were all going to be bought for me. And I was told I didn't have a purchasing limit. It was just pick whatever books you want, no matter how many books you bring, no matter how much they cost, no purchasing limit, go for it. And I went for it, baby. I went for it. And one of the things I bought was the Akatar series. The only thing is, no matter if you tell me I don't have a limit or not, no matter what happens, I'm gonna put a limit on myself. So the fact that a court of the Starlight, the novella, the fact that that one was the same price as the other books, I was like, "No, this is not necessary. We don't need to do that." So I bought the trilogy all together and was just like, "Okay, if I do want to get the novella, I'll buy it myself." Like for some reason, having them purchase the novella made me feel like, "Oh, that I'm wasting your money." So I was like, if I really want the novella, I'll buy that myself. So I bought the 3 in the trilogy and then a bunch of other books. Oh, we went out with bags. But I remember reading Akatar and I binged the whole series in like a week and a half. I want to say maybe 2 weeks. But I read Akatar and I was like, "Oh, this is a cute moment." I really loved how that book ended. And then we hit Akamath. That book just like it opened up my understanding of what a book could be because it was the first time I had witnessed an author being like, "Hey, you know this guy I made y'all fall in love with in the first book? Yeah, let's talk about how trauma impacted this story." And I was just like, this is fantastic. And then if you read it, you know, like how that story ends. I was just like, I need to go. So I literally binged Akatar. Like I said, I remember reading Akamath, and when I was at the like end of that book, I remember very specifically, and I remember it specifically because I till this day, and even in the moment, I didn't understand why I was grabbing my book in my comforter and going to the living room to then sit on the floor with my comforter over me, kind of like they do in movies, like they'll have their like flashlight and a blanket over them and reading. So I did everything but the flashlight basically. And I was reading Akamath. I finished it and was like, okay. And I put my book down. I was like, okay, grabbed my book, went to my bookshelf and just switched them out and immediately went right back in my seat and was like, okay, let's go. Right back in the place I was and like read Akawar. It was just so great. I loved it. So that's why, like, going into Akasoff, I first of all, I love Akasoff. But one of the things that I really, really loved about it was that it just immediately took me back to reading the series the first time. And that love would it just came right back. It came right back. Um, but yeah, that's the story of me and Akatar. So that's why, like, my head, I can always give like SJM grace. Like, for example, I know people are kind of like half and half right now when it comes to like Crescent City and okay, first of all, the fact that it's not called Crescent City, but it will always be called Crescent City to me because that's how they branded it for the first time. And then they were like, no, the part that was a small title, that's actually the title of the book. So Crescent City and then Crescent City 2, it will always be that in my heart. Um, I know people are kind of on the fence with that series, but I'm like, okay, but it also still reminds me of Akatar, so I'm gonna let that slide. Like, it's still vibes. I'm still like, it's slow paced, yes, and I definitely read House of Sky and Breath at a bad time for me. Like, it took me way too long to finish that book, and it's because I wasn't in the reading mood. But yeah, I just and the fact that like they just read so similarly that like I yeah. Um so that makes sense. Meanwhile, reading this series, I'm like, okay, cool, cool beans, cool. That's fine. The milk I read this during the sprint. The milk that has spilled cries out after afterwards. Like literally, I love this language. I love it. Okay, I'm getting tired. Well, good night. You probably already left because that story took me literally forever to read. Um, read quite a bit. Bram Stoker is just wow, just an excellent writer. So I'm gonna go look for a nicer copy of this so I can annotate this one. Yes, I love that for you. Good night if you're still here, even if you're not. Good night. No, because I felt so much for Farrah Tamlin turned into exactly like I was like, oh my, and there was one scene in particular where she was just like, basically, I don't want to, for anyone that hasn't read it, just the moment when Farrah was reflecting on her relationship with Tamlin, that hit me right here. They were like on a balcony. If those of you that have read it, she was talking to someone, they were on a balcony, and she was like, this is my relationship with this person. I have analyzed why our relationship is like this. I think I don't think it is, but I also feel like okay, hold on. I do realize that the sprint ended. So hold on, let me pause the timer. um, I don't feel like their relationship is similar, but that doesn't mean that I don't think that Bryce and Hunt are in game, and I really do hope that they are because this will be the first time that SJ. Well, shoot, I haven't finished the series, so I can't say that. But I think that Bryce and Hunt's chemistry or like their relationship in general is a good example of like a healthy relationship. Like reading it, I was like, wow, they seem like they're friends, and they are each other's confidants. Like there was like the mental health push in like book I said episode in book 2 where she was like I'm getting a therapist and I until I get my therapist I can lean on Hunt for this. Like I feel like that's a great example of like a healthy adult relationship for people that have gone through traumatic experiences both separately and together and like working through it. So I do hope that they're in game. But I don't think that they're I don't think they're the same as Fair and Reese. I think Fair and Reese are like whoa. Like they're just like I think that they're a great example of like a dream relationship because it just seem like they honestly seem like soulmates, but like in the sense that like mates were introduced to us when we were younger of like, oh, they're each other's soulmates versus Bryce and Hunt are more like they seem more like mates in the way that Fae mates have always been described to us of like it's not necessarily because you guys are attracted to each other. It's not necessarily because you guys are in love with each other. It is just like a bond that exists and is internal or is eternal and like greater than anything else. Like soulmates is always this like romantic whole body, my entire life and world thing. But like Bryce and Hunt feel more like we're more than love. Like we're each other's person versus Fair and Reese feel like soulmates, basically, if that makes sense. I hope it does. And somebody agrees with me. That's great. Thanks, Simone. Because I've just be going out there because, like, okay, like I said, those two, Akatar. I have an Akatar on my. I have Akatar on my shelves. The first one. I'm hesitant to read it because I'm a prude apparently, and I don't love reading smut. I don't mind romance and novels, but I don't need so ACOTAR actually would be fine. There's not that much smut in that book, so you'll be fine with that one. There's like I will say again, I read this when I was like in high school, so I think it was one of the first like new adult romances that I had read. So I was actually surprised when like scenes had come up. I was like, oh, but there's literally like two, so it'll be fine. And they're like, yeah, they're like towards the end. It's the yeah. But also ACOTAR is not the best one in that series, so I also don't know what to say about that. But, like, if you wanna get into it, I would say for ACOTAR, there's very little fun in that one. Like I said, I could think of maybe 2 scenes, like, maybe 2 scenes that are on page. Like, one thing at the very beginning, Farrah just mentions that she's sexually active, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, "Cool, sis." But then moving for like in the rest of Akatar, there's I think 2 scenes, and then in the rest of the series, again, I don't feel like it's that heavy until you get into I would say honestly, I would say the novella and Akasov, like the last two that were published. Side note, just found out your channel. Oh, well, thank you so much. Oh my God. Sorry. I also just read the last sentence. Thank you so much. That made my day. Appreciate that. Or my night, I guess, because it's later at night. Okay, good to know about it. It's not having a major romance trope on a page. Maybe I'll try it out soon. I definitely recommend, especially if you're looking for something light. I think ACOTAR is a good example of something light. To me, the world in ACOTAR isn't very heavy to grasp. Like, it honestly, the way SJM described it, I honestly just pictured the exact same thing I had pictured when I had read The Hunger Games. So I don't know if anyone else did that, but literally I pictured the exact same environment, and then they had pointy ears. Like so oh, until they went into like the Feylands, actually. So when we were introduced to pointy ears is when I was like, oh, okay, this is a little bit different, but that's descriptive, and the world's not hard to pick up either. So I would say if you're looking for like a easier read or like a calming read that's not too intense, don't really want to use that much brain power, that one. Akatar is a great one. But yeah, let's get the music going first. I will see you all in 45. Well, 44 in 23 minutes or seconds. You got it.
cleared the tower. Every 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
how did that final sprint go for you all? It went well for me. I had finished the chapter I was on Parable of the Sour, and then got to chapter 14 of Queen of Shadows, um, which is good. I was literally just about to log them both in Storygraph to figure out how far along I am in the books, since Saturday is the last day of the month, and I definitely need to finish them both by then, which I'm not all too nervous about since I am listening to Queen of Shadows with the audiobook, which means that, like, when I'm working tomorrow or have some off time tomorrow, I can just listen to the audiobook even if I don't have the physical book with me, which should make it go by faster. Although, if I do that and I'm not tracking the page, then that means I also have to like decrease the speed. So we'll see how that goes. And then as it pertains to Parable of the Sour, I love this story so much and I want to consume every ounce of it. Like, love it. Literally love it. Um, but yeah, let me know how that final sprint went. I think when the timer goes off and heads into the next sprint is what I'll finish up. So if you have any things you want to say, let me know. I'm all ears. Hello, Alexis. You literally came right as I was putting up the banner for the final sprint. Every time, every time. We'll do better. We'll do better. And hello, Chica. I'm also sorry you just woke up. I thought I'd be able to do one more sprint, and I don't think I can. Maybe one day, maybe one day, maybe on a Monday. Let's see if next Monday I'll feel like doing sprints after work, and maybe I'll be able to do longer then. S but it will be nice to get a little bit of reading done. Oh, well, yeah, I just talked about what I was currently reading. So these final two books for Magical Readathon, Queen of Shadows, Perilous Hour. Um, Queen of Shadows. This book right here. I'm actually enjoying it, and I'm actually surprised by the fact that I'm enjoying it. Here's the thing: do I like Perilous Hour so much better? I want to only read this book, but we need to focus. It's reminding me of Assassin's Blade, and like which is why I'm like, finally, we're at this journey in SJM's writing progression, because them other books, I was like, whenever you would like to give me a story, like whenever we can get somewhere, that'd be great. But yeah. Went great, read a total of 100. Okay, go off. That's more pages than there are minutes. So shout out to you. Go off. Oh, total. Total, not the last 30 sprints. Okay, got it. Got it. In total. Oh, you're smart. I probably should have been tracking what I've done in total, because that probably would have made me feel like I had made more progress than I'm currently feeling like I made. Um, like I said, I think I'm gonna schedule sprints tomorrow though. Uh, just because I want to, and because I found out my schedule's not as packed as I thought it was going to be tomorrow. Unfortunately, that means my schedule on Friday is more packed than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. It's okay because I get a break on Thursday. Um, but yeah. Oh, goodness, the fact that we're already all of us just feel so rushed. I feel like my whole month was very chill and relaxed, but this week feels like I'm so rushed. I mean, because I am rushing myself with these books, and then also like at work, things have picked up a little bit. Read one book, it's hard to keep track of multiple. Yeah, definitely is. That would be nice. I would love to join tomorrow. I think. What time zone are you in, Tika? Because I'll see what time I'll schedule them. I was thinking maybe or morning time, my time, but I can do later sprints tomorrow. I think I'll see. But I'll try. I'll definitely try to do. I will be doing more later sprints because I have committed to being willing to like do sprints after work because this was actually kind of cool and chill. Like I actually liked that like you all have matched my energy has just been like a very calming moment and it is a calming moment that is like in the schedule. I've been trying to work on like my nighttime routine and like getting myself to relax, but I've noticed that like I'm always trying to do something for like productivity's sake, which is unfortunate. I really need to work on getting out of that mindset. But for this sprint, all I could do was read because that's what we said we're gonna do. So all I could do was read. And it is literally what I have been trying to do for so long now. So I really appreciate that. CET, cool. I'm gonna check what that means for me in my schedule. But hopefully we can make something work. Even if that means I need to like we'll see. We'll see. If not tomorrow's sprints, then definitely sometime next week. But yeah, like I told you guys, Monday should be good with like sprint or not Monday. May should be good with sprints because I will need a lot of time to dedicate to packing. And why not bring you guys along on that journey? But yeah, I guess that's all for today, you guys. Good night. Good morning. Happy days to you all. And I will see you guys all in the next sprints. But bye bye, friends.